Ready.
Hello and welcome to the Design Versus podcast. For the first time ever, we have two designers together on the same podcast, so we'll see how this goes. John's just give me a look as if it's not working. Oh, add some applause in. Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Dave.
Calm down, audience. Calm down.
How are you?
Very well, thank you, Bilal. It's an absolute honour and a pleasure to be here.
And this is your first time on
It
podcast,
is on any
it?
podcast in my entire life.
Yeah, on camera, on the voice, if you're listening just to our voices. We're both designers, Dave. We both work
Try
at
to be,
digital. Yeah, I try. You just do it naturally. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I mean, this title is called Design versus Designer, but really we're going to be on the same page for most parts. I'm pretty sure. We both come from a design background. No shit.
Hope so.
But we kind of. I had a similar path to you. We both went to university. UConn represent.
Preston massive.
Yeah. Let's talk about that. How we first came to be designers. I obviously did university, but then went off on a weird route to doing artwork and didn't actually do design until I got a job in Manchester. But what was your route into it?
Probably similar to yours in terms of doing graphics at school. Then you went to college. I did graphics at college. I did a bit of a weird one though, because I did a foundation year at ManMet.
Was that in design or was that in art?
It's weird. It was in everything. So you did a little stint in everything, really. So you did everything from life drawings, perspective drawing, to like all sorts of rubbish. I mean, it's that long ago. I can't really remember it. It was pointless. Yeah. It was a waste of a year.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I got told by, I think, because I wanted to do graphics, I waited around for that graphics course part. And then I got told by the guy when I left that they wouldn't take me on at ManMet because he didn't think I'd make a design.
Right?
So,
have you had that told to you? I've had the
yeah.
same thing told to me, and I still get it told to me today. So.
Well, I mean, I just think it's whether that guy just didn't like me or what. But so that kind of put me off then. So then after that, I then bummed around for about a year working at Tesco, worked on a toy aisle. And then I went to my mate's house, well, his flat at Preston, uni, had a night out.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is for me. So I looked into the course. It was lucky because when I did it, I think I did it during the summer when I could then apply. Yeah. So then I applied, was waiting around thinking, I hope to God I don't have to work at Tesco for the rest of my life. No offense to anyone who works at Tesco. And then luckily got on. And then, so then I did my first year. I remember the first project that we had to do was over the summer. We had to put together something graphical. And because my graphics knowledge was like of an art foundation course and what we did at college, so none of that was actual like practical.
No, absolutely not.
You know what graphic design is.
Yeah.
So I just like put together some like collage of stuff, and I took it in, and you had to put them all out at the front of the class.
Yeah.
And everyone that was there was like coming up with all these like dead cool ideas that like would actual graphic design. Mine was just some cheesy little collage. And the guy he like picked it out and he's like, who's done this? Yeah. And I was like, me, sir. And he was like, yeah, it's not really what it's about. And I was like, oh hell, like my first thing, I'd done that.
Yeah.
So then, but luckily after that, I got it straight away. I got it. And my next project, we had to package something. It was like a really ambiguous brief, just create some packaging for anything. So I randomly went to like the pound shop, bought a load of things, like, I don't know, combs and dummies. So I bought a dummy and I made like this packaging that was like a rectangle thing with a woman's boob picture on it.
Yeah.
And through the nipple came the dummy. And it said dummy. Whatever.
Right, okay, yeah.
And like that went down really well. And I was like, right, I think I get it now. It's a visual way of presenting something in a in a way that creates an emotive response, or get someone interested in that particular item or whatever it can be.
Yeah.
And then from then on I kicked on and I got it then. But it took that first year for me to proper get my head around what graphic design actually is and the point of it. And I just used to think it was like making album covers and posters and
yeah. I mean, on that, like, how do you explain what you do to your parents, for example? Like,
I don't.
You don't.
Just tell them I make websites. But I think that's the best way I can think of it to describe it is you've got a load of information, or you've got a message, or you've got some images or something that you're trying to portray in a way that's visually stimulating, or it creates an emotive response in someone.
Sure. Yeah.
So like anyone can put a load of stuff together on a page, but if you don't lay it out nicely, or you don't use if you use Comic Sans or something like that, every little different thing that you can make, like two people can do something completely different ways. They both might be brilliant. But that's what I like about it. It's not like we're in a factory and we're creating
accurate pieces,
bottle in one particular way and it's always the same. It's like it's left to your own imagination and creativity, which is like I always think like a lot of people I think will be scared of a blank piece of paper if you told them
exactly
make me something out of this, and they gave you some colouring in pens or whatever. And that's kind of what we do. Is like you have an empty artboard, you've got a load of information, whether it's in Word docs or whatever, a load of files of images, and you've got to somehow choose the best images, the best fonts, the best colours, the best layout, the best, everything, and put it all together and make something that's going to get, John interested, or, your mum interested. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, that's the way that I describe it. Is you get all this information, and you've got to portray it and lay it out in a visually stimulating way.
What do you say to people who say, we just colour in?
Love it.
Just Crayola advocates.
I think it probably is what a lot of people think graphic design is. They think we're artists, or, we draw.
I think we are in some way.
I don't know.
Like you said, though, I mean, art, creativity in itself is an interpretation. One director of a movie for, let's say Batman, you've got 2, 3, 4 people now who've directed a Batman. They've all got their interpretation.
Yeah.
Would you say we're not like that in that sense?
I guess so. I think like art is slightly different to what we do. I think art is more, it's still trying to create that emotive response, but I think it can also be like so ambiguous, like that. I can't remember who did it, but like one of the earliest abstract pieces of art is just like urinal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? In a white urinal in a white room. And like if we did that, just gave a white website to someone, nothing on it, we'd go, it's abstract. You know what I mean? Like what they're going to say to that? They're going to be like, but where's my buttons? So it's like we're not artists. We have a job and a function, and our function is to take all the information or whatever it is that client wants to get out there, and we have to lay it out in a structure and a format that's easy to digest and break down. That's why I always go on about like hierarchy and things like that. What is the first thing that you want someone to see on that page or website or whatever?
Yeah,
that's what I always try and do is put myself in the position of someone, coming to that website or coming to that brochure.
Sure.
What's the first thing I want them to see? So it's kind of like it's more like a shop window, I think. Like, what do you want people's attention to be drawn to straight away?
Yeah. So we talked a bit about university just before. I've got another question on what you just said before just then. We agree, university didn't quite prepare us for what we were going to do for the rest of our career, or rather, however long we're going to be doing this for. But when you finish university, it's like me, I finished university, like I said, ended up doing artworking for about 2 or 3 years before I thought, I still want to get into design, but I need something that's going to like jet me off into that sort of career. I need a new portfolio, I need a better reputation about myself. So I went to a design college in Manchester, which did just that. It set me up for that kind of thing. Luckily for me, but I had to pay for that, and I regret not doing that instead of me having to go to university. But for all those like for all the upcoming designers that are out there and wanting to get into industry, what sort of advice or what sort of ideas would you give them to sort of shoot them in that direction?
I mean, I was lucky. I was really lucky. I was working in a pub in my second year of uni, and a guy used to come in all the time, order the same thing every time, and I got chatting with him. Yeah. And he was like, "What?" He was Scottish. I won't do the accent. I could, but I won't. And he was like, "What do you do at uni?" I was like, "Oh, I do graphic design." He was like, "I know a creative director. You know, I know an owner of a design agency in Bolton. Do you want me to ever like introduce you?" And I was like, "Yeah, defo." And like, I think, I mean, it sounds a bit weird now, just getting in some guy's car that I met in the pub, but I went with him to Bolton to this guy's thingy.
I can just see a Simpsons episode where Homer's just walking down the street and he goes into a limousine.
So we went to this like this guy's agency and introduced myself, showed him what I'd done at uni. And I mean, a uni portfolio is not a portfolio to really get you a job. I don't think. I mean, it might be. I don't know. Different unis seem to
showcasing a little bit of skills.
Well, I think with me, it's ideas. That's what Preston was really good at. They got ideas out of you, right. Like the little thing that makes something different. You know, like there's so many logos out there, but a logo with an idea are the ones that I love the most. Like so. So what Preston did was they were good at getting ideas out of you. So when I took the portfolio to Darren at Portfolio, they were called in Bolton, they're still there now. Okay. And showed him, he was like, "Yeah, brill. Like, come back to us when you finish your course, and we'll look at what we can do." So I was thinking, yeah, forget me. So then when I finished my course, obviously you do your end of degree show. And then I took my portfolio back to Darren and said, like, I probably emailed him or something and said, like, you know, any chance of coming around and even like working for a bit for free. And he was like, "Yeah, come in." So then I can't remember whether I did like a bit of like whatever it's called, where you just work for now, apprenticeship type thing. But then so on the back of that, they offered me a job. And what they were brilliant at was they taught me all the Mac skills that I didn't have. Yeah. So that was the worst thing about. I mean, Preston were brilliant, and don't get me wrong, but the Mac skills section was not strong enough to make you completely ready to go in industry.
The execution then, not the drawing the idea, but actually getting it onto the screen and making it.
Yeah, I could use Photoshop, but I'd never been that good in like most of the other programs. So then, so that's what they were really good at, and I mean, I was there for I think like 3 years, and I met some of the best people, honest to God, like for helping me out and getting me to where I needed to be. Yeah. Like Nick, Rick, and Rick. They were like the best three like people who could have just sat there, and they were so like patient with me. And I think that's the thing that I've tried to take for the rest of my career is that patience, because you think it's easy for someone to come in and just be like, well, "Why are you not getting that straight away?" Yeah. But it takes time. So that's what they were really good at. They taught me everything that I needed to know. And by the end of a couple of months, I was like more than capable. Yeah. So I think what I'd say is like, don't be afraid to go into somewhere with just ideas, because the ideas are the thing that are harder to train than Mac skills. Anyone can train Mac skills, but not everyone can have that idea process of where do you come up with these things. You know what I mean? Like, where it can be anywhere for me. Like I can see an advert or something and put that into, you know, a website or something. Yeah. It's just little bits like, so I always think that would be my advice, would be as long as you've got ideas, maybe your Mac skills aren't great, but people can teach you that. As long as you go to the right place with the right people, like the best fit, you'll be absolutely fine.
I've been able to teach non-designers how to use Illustrator for artworking purposes, and more importantly, like you said, the principles have to be taught to you, which is what universities should be doing.
They'll teach you that,
and then they should also then be teaching you how to adapt those skills to
ideally, I think, because then it's just a slower process otherwise.
Just watch YouTube videos on how to do it yourself. If you just come out of university and you've not got
no Mac skills, then
adapt that and make sure that you can execute the idea. And in good time as well, I would say. Because you don't want to be faffing around for about 2 hours on just a CTA or something.
No.
On the subject of design, some of the more sort of nitty gritty now. Like we're talking about clients and dealing with pressure and all
the actual industry issues.
Let's go into it. What's the most challenging? Let's say the word challenging. Things that we face on a day-to-day basis as a designer. What really gets us sort of in the mood to sort of try and...
I think there's lots of issues we can face. Deadlines are a big one. Unrealistic deadlines.
Yeah.
I think what a lot of people don't understand, and this is the sort of thing that worries me, and is someone can come to us and say, I've given you 3 hours for that job because you did it in 3 hours last time.
Yeah.
But design is so variable.
It's so variable.
You could end up with one brand that's like so easy to use and another brand that's an absolute nightmare, or you know, they've supplied you a load of things for that one so it's easy, or they've not supplied you anything for that one so it's hard.
Yeah.
So like deadlines and time quoting is hard. Dealing with clients I always find really easy. I've never struggled with clients really. I always think if you're just personable and you're understanding and you realise that they're just trying to do their job at the end of the day as well. The majority of clients that we work with aren't really the owners of that business. They might be the marketing manager, or they might be, you know, a different role.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to do a job at the end of the day. And that's what I always think of, you know, it's easy to be worried, like, oh, you think you're letting someone down. But as long as I always try and make the effort to, if I'm struggling, I'll have a call with them, or I'll try and get like a quick 15-minute call just to, you know, talk through where I'm struggling or what I think the problem is. And they always seem to like that. So clients isn't really an issue for me. I know a lot of some designers will struggle, but I just think as long as you're personable and you're likable and you try and get some sort of rapport, then it's a good frame of mind to be in, really.
Absolutely. Your experience actually shows me. I'm not saying you're an old man. You've just been in the design game a lot longer than I
used to be.
So from recent times and working with you and in the time that we've been together as design lead, I've been learning that at the end of the day, all these clients that we work for, they do need to just get something done for their business, and they're gonna love what we make at the end of the day because they're hiring us for our skills and our capabilities. Exactly. They wouldn't come to us otherwise; they'd have done it themselves. So that's something I even have to sort of keep in my mind when I'm doing.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had clients before in the past who almost use you as just put that there. That's what I want. I want that there, and that's slightly what's the word? Tricky to deal with, really, because, like you say, clients are coming to us for our expertise. I've got like 15 years design expertise. You know, yourself, you've got like 5, and you think they should be trusting us to put something together that they think is going to be good. Whereas some clients will be very picky and very want it in a certain way, which it does hamper your creativity, especially, and that can be a hard thing to deal with, though.
And that's it as well. You're trying to please. You can't always please everyone all the time. No. Absolutely not.
Design's too variable for that. Yeah. You have no idea what someone's going to like. John might like something, you might not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
which
there's
is quite
no
an
way of like.
That happens.
Yeah. So like, there's no way that you can ever please everybody all the time. What you've got to do is take the criticism on the chin, make them changes, even if it goes against what you think. You can't. I tend to always push back and say, why do you want that change?
Yeah.
Which I always think is a good thing to do. Don't just be a yes man.
No.
But if at the end of the day they're paying for a service, and if they want something in a particular way, if it goes against your, you know, design ethics, if there's such a thing, then you eventually you're probably gonna end up just doing it anyway. Yeah. Which isn't great. It's not a good mentality to have. But I think there's some things where in life you just have to do to please that client, to get that client, you know, not necessarily out the door, but otherwise it would just be a never-ending issue. So.
Exactly. Let's get into another topic within this. while we're designers, we've been tailored to work within the inbound marketing industry. It's not too different to all the other industries, really, when you think about
Not
it.
really,
Inbound
no.
marketing is its own unique thing, but we're still doing the same thing that we're always doing. But what about keeping up to date with all the latest trends and things? What kind of things do you tend to do, like Pinterest and all that sort of stuff that I've been
Yeah,
doing?
I'm a big advocate for Pinterest. Probably a lot of designers would turn their nose up at it, but I genuinely think it's such a good tool to use
Yeah.
because there's so much on there.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
everybody uses it, even if you're not looking for something specifically. You know, my time at the minute is majority of it is websites. So, you know, even if I'm looking for something else, if I'm looking for something to do with a website, I can end up looking at a poster or, you know, a piece of like fashion
It's
design.
random,
It can randomly have like a bit of inspiration on you. So I'm a big advocate for that. There's obviously the same sort of ones that everyone will use, like Dribble and awards and, you know, creative vision.
Awards is a good one. But for recent times, I've been looking to awards because after a while, I mean, I don't. Do you get bored of designing similar things over
You
to?
can
'Cause
do, yeah.
awards seems like you're looking at something, that's completely different. That sort of challenges the developers. Like we show the developers all
Yeah.
of our attacks, seeing what some of the stuff have won awards. But it's a good site in my opinion. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a really good reference point as well, and it can start you thinking of a different route that maybe you weren't going to go down. You know, especially with layout, it helps me a lot with layout because sometimes you can get a little bit samey with layout. That's just I think just the nature of the beast that after a while it can get pretty samey, but you can change everything else, you know, colors and fonts and stuff. But the layout of it and the flow can sometimes get samey. So I think them sort of websites help to just push you in a slightly different direction. I think, I didn't even think of doing that for that section or that module, you know. So
And it goes back to earlier when we said that one designer will see something, take their interpretation of it, and another will do that, and that's just how kind of how we work. You know, we have been splitting the workload now, where I'm doing website work a lot more, and in that instance, obviously, sometimes we even work together and collaborate. Let's talk about working with designers, other designers, what that's like. I've heard stories, and I've firsthand about designers working for the same company doing the branding, and then having arguments and disagreements and things like that. We've never had disagreements or anything like that. I know when I put comments for you on the web design work, you probably just mark them as just sack it. It's just easy.
I just think I think it's just respecting someone else's opinion. I think at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's like, you know, anyone can come and have an opinion on my work, and I'm not going to hit the roof about it, because why would you? I think if someone kept pushing it, or someone was nasty about their criticism, then I wouldn't like it. And
is that down to a design ego though, like a strong design ego,
I think
just an ego in general?
I think probably, yeah. I've never been a very I'm very opinionated, but when it comes to, you know, my job and dealing with people, I always think like I can take criticism, especially after a while. Like you've taken so much criticism from clients, especially when you're coming through. Like you have to understand that it's just them trying to get their point across. And like I said, right at the start, design is so variable that you have no idea of how one person's going to take it. I send stuff that all of our colleagues might think's mint over to the client.
Yeah,
and they could turn around and go, "That's rubbish." Do you know what I mean? So hopefully, what we do now is we'll record a video and talk through of why we've done stuff. Where I've worked in the past and places I've worked in the past, you'd literally just box that design up, send it off.
And sometimes design is that, like, without context, you're like, well,
exactly,
what? And then someone points it out to you, like, oh my god, I get it now.
So
I guess in that sense, that for a work environment as well for designers is a lot more healthier and a lot more respectable, because you feel like, well, he has his opinions, I have my opinion. But at the end of the day, we're both either right or wrong, or just, hey, this is what a client's going to see. If there's a mistake in there, that's a different.
Exactly. I was just going to say, I think you can make mistakes. So you can make spelling mistakes. You can have things flapping over that shouldn't be, or you put the wrong image in something. That's one thing.
Yeah.
I think if you've just designed something that is maybe not straight on the brief, no one should ever have a go at you for that.
No, absolutely
I think you've done something in that way because you thought that was right.
Yeah.
Like, it's completely different to making a mistake, I think that.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if I've got any other questions on this because we've talked quite efficiently on design.
That's what we're all about, efficiency.
Exactly. And
that's our number one.
That's our. But I want to bring us to the quick fire round now because this is something I do as part of the design.
It's just like
process.
where so we not get like this sort of boom when the lights come down and
John you can make that happen.
Is
that actually, just before I go for it, Dave actually is part of the reason why I do this podcast. You know, obviously I was brainstorming all these ideas about this podcast, and I had various different routes I wanted to go down, and you actually steered me in this direction. So credit to Dave.
I think did I not come up with design verses as well?
You did. Yeah, I did. And obviously, I made my.
I've still not got a cap yet. I've still not got a cap yet.
You've not got a cap yet. Well, you get a cap.
I'm not a cap wearer.
No. Oh, well, then you don't get a
Heads
cap.
of funny shit. But no, I think from what I've seen, it's been a great little podcast. I think it's been interesting. And
well, let's finish it then through our
quick fire,
and after that we're gonna do a quick settle of debate and then we can call it. All right. As quick as you like. Yeah. I had it the first time around when we did this. It took quite a long time to get through.
I'll be quick.
I wanted to. Yeah. So example question: who's a bit better designer, me or you?
Me.
Good answer.
Me.
Oh.
For now.
What?
For now. But everyone's, you could say that about.
Oh, I didn't expect you to answer the question. I thought.
Was I not supposed to answer it, or was I supposed to answer it?
No, it was an example.
Oh, I see. Sorry. I get you now. I thought that was the first question.
Anyway, right. Opening a new tab or a new window?
Oh, great question. Tab.
Okay, yeah. Single scroll websites or multi-pages?
Oh, multi-pages.
What would you rather design for, though?
I just find that it depends on the information.
Okay. What are you watching on Netflix right now?
Nothing really. What have I watched? I don't know. I could give you a load of recommendations, but
give me one recommendation right now.
Mindhunter.
Right. I'm going to check it out tonight.
Mindhunter.
Okay.
For sure.
What do you... I've already asked that. Avenir or Poppins?
Avenir or Poppins?
Quick fire.
Poppins, because it's D22.
Okay. Yeah. Soon to be
avidly.
Yeah. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You have to drop one forever. Which one do you drop?
Twitter. Don't use it.
You don't use Twitter. That's good. Favorite brand in terms of color? I didn't ask this question. I asked a few people.
McDonald's. It's instantly recognizable.
McDonald's. Okay.
You know it.
Yeah. So the red or the yellow? Both. Okay. Tea or coffee?
Tea.
You're a tea drinker like me. Mobile first or desktop first?
I should say mobile, but the way I work is desktop first.
Yeah, devs can do one.
Yeah.
Okay.
It should be on a client by client basis though.
It should
be whichever platform the people use it on most.
Okay.
That should dictate.
Can you answer this? What's your favorite chocolate bar?
Boost.
I knew that though. I was just.
You did know that. You bought me a few boosts.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how creative are you?
In work,
just
an 8. At home, about a 2.
Okay, yeah, I respect
Not
that.
very creative at home.
I'm more creative at home.
Creatively sat on the couch at home.
Right. Okay. Apple or Android? I didn't.
Apple.
Did I write this? Apple. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm Android, but Apple for work, obviously, because we use MacBooks, innit? Would you rather have legs for arms or arms for legs?
Love these sort of questions. I feel so. Hang on. Right. So does that mean that I've got legs? So if I go legs for arms, does that mean I've got arms for legs though? Because otherwise, have I just got nothing down there?
I didn't ask this question.
So I've got legs for arms. I've got nothing on my legs.
But you got nothing on your legs, yeah.
So I'm just like a top-heavy, leggy person. I'd want arms.
No. Right. So if you got arms, if you got arms for legs, you got 4 arms. Like
right. Yeah, definitely that then.
Or
why would I want useless legs? What am I going to do with legs for my arms and legs for my legs?
Tell that to a cat or a dog.
I can walk on my arms eventually. I'll get stronger.
All right. So you'd rather have 4
arms.
Okay.
Like a gorilla.
Did you design it? Dave, you got nice tattoos.
Thank you.
I don't really respect tattoos because it's not
Comment below if you agree.
But did you design your own tattoos?
I did design my own tattoos.
And that was a question asked by someone in company as well, so I thought I'd just ask that.
I did. I mean, a bit of a shambles now. I drew one. Okay. I drew one that was here that's now covered up.
Okay.
That was really bad.
Okay. We'll put a picture in that.
Looked like a pig on its side, apparently.
Just put any picture of a tattoo. It doesn't have to be his.
I can find you a picture.
Favorite hour of the day? Why have I written these questions right
now? Hour of the day?
Favorite hour of the day? I'm a night guy, so I'll be up.
I like lunchtime, I guess.
When's the most effective time that you can design?
Right, we're going there.
No, I've just added that in.
10 to 11. I've no idea.
That's your prime hour.
That's the weirdest question.
I actually design really well after 5.
Is that why you tend to come in at like 9:15?
That's beside the point. Are you a night in or a night out kind of guy?
Night in these days, mate. I'm boring.
Yeah. Well, you got to that age as well. Yeah. A few people have answered it that way too. And finally, your favourite thing about working at Digital 20... Sorry, Avidly. Favourite thing about working...
Without a doubt. People are great. Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree.
And 3 o'clock finish on Friday.
And settling a debate. And before this podcast, I asked you, and you said, "Oh, do you like pineapples on pizza?" I was like, "Hell no." So, does pineapples belong on pizza?
100%.
Definitely not. Why would you put fruit on a meal?
But you could say that about loads of things. You have like apple sauce with pineapple, with pork. You have cranberry with turkey.
Well, first of all, I don't have pork because
You'd have like a pork and apple pat. Well, you don't have pork, but like, yeah.
I mean,
it's amazing.
I used to love
sweet and sour. People go mad for sweet and sour.
I mean, to be fair, tomatoes is a fruit in one way. I mean, put that on a pizza.
Sweet, is it?
That's what I'm talking about. It feels
ketchup sweet. You'd have that with stuff.
Again, ketchup, tomato, still a fruit.
Yeah, I just think, like there's a guy who goes to my gym who owns his own pineapple, his own pizza van.
Yeah.
Called Marley's.
Yeah.
And he has like a full campaign of say no to pineapple pizza because obviously it's not genuinely the original pizza topping. Yes. Neither's like bloody ham probably, but it's well good. Honest to God, ham, mushroom, pineapple on a pizza, extra cheese.
Yeah.
That's like the best. That is the best.
I mean, my college days was Donna chicken pepperoni. That's what I used to. I was just meat all over the pizza. It's very unhealthy. Very bad for you. But
absolute chronic heart disease, that pal.
Well, you can argue that then having.
Although what I did do the other day, you'll like this, John. I seen it on Only Scrans. You get a Donna meat pizza.
Yeah.
You get a tikka masala.
Yeah.
And you dip. And it was good for about 2 slices. And then I was like, that is rank now. So I wouldn't recommend that. But no, it was all right. I think it depends where you get the tikka from. Tikka was tasteless.
Dave, it's been a pleasure to have you on this podcast.
Honestly, Bilal, this has been the best day of my life. When do I get my cap?
I'd be so happy.
When do I get my cap?
What's that?
When do I get my
that
branded merch? Well, get me something else then.
I'll get you merch. What do you want? Like a beanie hat? Skateboard. With the logo.
A full skateboard. Yeah, do that. Yeah, that I won't use.
Yeah, that you'll never...
Beanie would work. Get me a nice beanie.
You want a beanie?
Yeah,
okay,
like a John beanie. Yeah.
Wicked. I'm going to pull a plug on this podcast now. So here's the moment. Thank you to my guest, Dave Entwistle.
It's been a pleasure, Bilal. Thanks.
I didn't say this at the start, but he's my design lead, and he's I mean, obviously not raining on the ex-leads that we used to have, but I think you've been exceptional so far, and I look forward to many more years working with you. So don't need to cry. It's all good. That concludes the episode on Design Versus. Thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed this debate, stay tuned for more. Until next time, see you later.